Identity, sexual violence, abuse, child rape, loss of memory, marriage, culture, the politics of language and white supremacy. These are some of the themes that are at the epicenter of IGAMA, a theatre piece by writer and director Slindile Mthembu that seeks to challenge how the oppressed are now seeing themselves through the eyes of the oppressor. The piece will be staged at Kopanong Arts Festival presented by the University of Pretoria this week. And for more, we are joined in studio by Slindile and one of the lead actors, Samukelisiwe Maseko. Good morning, ladies. It's great to have you here in studio. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Now, Slindile, you wrote and directed this play. Speak to us about some of the themes that you explored in this production and how important they are in the society that we live today.
So I wanted to create an awareness in IGAMA about the experiences that black women face on a daily basis that they either can't speak about or they tuck away in their memory. So with these 5 women in the story, I wanted to show the issue of gender, race and class discrimination that black women experience every day. And I wanted to use theatre to explore with these themes and to use a non-linear narrative of how the black woman's experience or lived experience every day is very complex. So I wanted to start the story in past, present, and go back into the future and to show how the oppressor in the story has made black women forget who they are because they're not allowed to speak about what happened to them. And I want these women in this story to teach black women and to teach women in society how to say no. This is my body and I live in this body, so don't touch my body.
And so I want to touch on your own lived experience as a woman. How do you experience blackness? How do you experience being a woman in a world that is really harsh towards us and does seek to continue oppress us or shun our voices?
I just have known how I've been taught from a young age to voice myself and to say, don't touch me there. This is my body. And my mother, you know, when your mother washes you in the morning, she would be like, make sure it's bangaktintila. And those are the things that I don't think a lot of black families open up about in terms of teaching our young girls of how to say no. Because sometimes if it does happen in a situation, some girls can't speak out about it because you're going to offend your family or you're going to so sometimes we have to move away from that. In the century that we're living in now, we need to speak about what is going on and what you're experiencing as a black woman.
I want to zoom into your character. Tell us all about her and sort of the journey that she is on.
So my character's name is Yas.
Yes.
And maybe the archetype of the character is the kind of woman that we come across who's really about appearance and aesthetics. And sometimes we hear the noise and the yes queen, you leave, they tell that man to go away, twirl on him, and we don't actually take time to look behind the facade and to see the journey that this woman has been through. So you find that my character is really well put together and she's fluid in her movements, but she never wants to say anything more than the buzzwords. And we don't take time to just learn more about her. Her history is really heavy. And how I arrived to that is by working backwards. First showing the appearance that I put up and then slowly deconstructing that to open up histories about family traumas and violence, sexual violence.
And for such a heavy role, just talk us through the preparation that you had to go through, not just by externally, doing the research, but just the internal work and the spaces within yourself that you had to sort of tap into to do justice to the character.
Slindile knows it's difficult, and I think this is where you are thankful and grateful to have someone like Slindile, a director like Slindile, who understands the story and who understands the nuances that are needed. Because you need to respect these women's stories and need to take ownership of them. So working with her, finding ways to trigger memory, to link memory as well to a larger, I've never known that violence, so to bring something that's an access point, ideas that she'll bring in, bring an object. I think that was the first exercise, bring an object that will remind you of yourself and what you think about the character story. So the process has been beautiful because I go back home, I think about it, I go do my homework, I look at the different kinds of people, kinds of women that yes can be. And then I bring that to Slindile and we work together. And it's been beautiful.
Slindile, just to wrap it up because we are out of time, she spoke about archetypes. I want to find out from you, how important is that representation for young black women all around the world to see themselves in something that is more than a victim? We look at the likes of Serena Williams, the likes of Beyonce. How important is it that black girls see themselves in success stories?
I think it is really important to reflect and to show black women an image of themselves. And what we do in the story, we use objects that the characters carry. And like, for example, the character Yes carries her father's shoes along with her. And some of the characters carry the issue of white supremacy and what we experience as black women to not be allowed to voice ourselves. So we use the white door in the story as our antagonist. And this antagonist teaches us how to be perfect women and how to not express ourselves and not to really tell our truth. So in that, we really do reflect that in post-colonial society, black women's bodies have been affected through generational curses that came before. And now, in present time, how do we make sure we break that form?
Ladies, an incredibly powerful story.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming and for sharing. Slindile, great work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
very
having
much.
us.
Our Slindile Mthembu and Samukelisiwe Maseko, they've been speaking to us about the play IGAMA that's set to be staged at the Kopanong Arts Festival this week. Incredibly powerful stuff. If you get time, make sure you go see it.